is nothing more infuriating than being told, don't take things so personally. I'm not sure about you, but I find that incredibly patronizing. And since you only tend to take things personally when you're feeling sensitive, that really rubs salt into the wounds, doesn't it? Welcome to the Clever Together Communication podcast. This is a show for experts who want to communicate more intentionally to solve complex business and technology problems with less stress and more success. I'm your host, Karin Wilhelm, and I'm on a mission to make sure that non-native speakers of English communicate in a way that secures a rewarding career and a reputation that they deserve as the expert. Now, if you are the kind of person that gets accused of taking things too personally, then I have a few pointers for you. They come from the heart because I think we all have sensitive topics and moments in our lives when we take things more personally than is necessary. That's okay, but if it's affecting your self-confidence, then these pointers might bring a little more sunshine into your soul. So, number one is to accept the fact that other people's rudeness is not necessarily about you or what you did. Think about the last time when you were rude. Hey, it happens. None of us are perfect, right? The last time I was rude was when I was getting constant knockbacks, and this last piece of negative news just felt like the last nail in the coffin. I felt up against it, and there's only so much that anybody can handle. I snapped inappropriately. It was out of order, and I apologised the very next day, first thing. But there is no undo button. What was said, and even if they accept your apology, which is humbling, nobody can take back those words. What is said is said. So rudeness, as in my case the other week, is a reflection of in my head. Number two, you just can't please all of the people all of the time. In fact, if you are a people pleaser, the chances are that you are probably leading a very dull and low impact life. Passionate people tread on toes, so if you are going to make a point to disrupt the status quo, be prepared for some backlash, but have the backbone to stand up to it and discuss what it is that's causing feathers to get ruffled. Look beyond the obvious, be observant, ask questions, and be brave about it. Anticipate their arguments and have some examples, analogies, and some juicy storytelling ready to go. Number three, ask yourself if there is another logical explanation for this rather weird behaviour. I commonly get tripped up with that situation where you think somebody's being really arrogant and egotistical, when in actual fact it's the polar opposite, and they're normally really, really shy and insecure. So they're not snubbing you, they're just maybe a little bit out of their depth. And likewise, introverts, and I'm one of these, might well keep a low profile, for instance, as their people power is running out. So I love being out and about, and I can be quite a social butterfly, but after a while, often rather suddenly, crowds can feel really overwhelming, and I need to get out kind of fast. Someone who is normally upbeat, but now seems disinterested, lethargic, indifferent, might actually be struggling with other stuff that is making them tired and deflated. In fact, if the most vocal guy on the team can't be bothered anymore, given up the ghost, the chances are that they're redirecting their energy into looking for a new employer where they can make a difference. Number four, you are not defined by your mistakes or shortcuts. You are defined by the success that you have by making those mistakes. So straighten your crown and get curious, not furious. Look very analytically, step by step, at what went wrong. When did it happen and why? Get people to help you, because everything is a work in progress, right? But do not give up. That puts you in the failure melting pot. Much too hot. Number 5, no matter how rough it might feel, how raw it might feel, take a deep breath and take note. Take comments and criticism in a constructive way. How can you use that feedback to fuel your performance next time around? If you do feel that it's unfair, ask yourself honestly. If your friend or someone that you actually like at work might have given you the same advice from a place of compassion and a commitment to you as an individual, as a friend or valued colleague, how would that have come over? It takes a certain degree of courage to give someone constructive criticism, so be careful about disregarding it. Number 6, the way that you feel depends on you. It's a perception thing. Nobody can make you feel worthless if you don't let them in. Nobody can undermine you if you feel confident and convinced of what you're doing. Remember, this is just a glitch, a snapshot, nothing more than that. So, to summarise then, for the note takers out there, then number 1, accept that this might be their problem, not yours. Number 2, you can't please all of the people all of the time. Number 3, consider if there's another logical explanation for this weird behaviour. Number 4, don't be defined by your mistakes. Instead, make sure that you learn from those lessons and turn it into a success. Number 5, take criticism on board and accept it with gratitude. Number 6, nobody can determine how you feel about something. Take charge of your emotions. So, be compassionate and grateful for feedback. If you think someone might be struggling, choose your moment and then lean in. Be there for them and just have a chat. Let them do the talking. Really, really listen. Give them the time that they need to express themselves, because these conversations can be hard, and let them know that you're there for them. It can feel as if you can't change anything just by listening, but the reality is that informal communication like this can make a huge impact and can make the difference between losing a valued member of the team and having to go through that tedious onboarding process all over again. When we are thinking about staff loyalty, it's the little things that count. So whether you're the boss or not, stop taking things personally and replace the mild dose of paranoia with observation and openness. Not always easy to do, but certainly worth trying. So look up and see the big picture. It's good for your soul, and you know what? Life will feel lighter somehow. So this week's communication challenge is to be more open to constructive criticism, because actually, if someone is kind enough, considerate enough, and gutsy enough to give you the feedback, then accept it as if it were a beautiful bouquet of flowers, because they are helping you to shine in your career or business. You lucky thing. So have a fabulous week, and if you appreciated this show, do share it. That would make my day. And of course, if you have any feedback for the show, bring it on. I love to hear what I can improve. Every suggestion gives me an opportunity to make this a more valuable resource to go into your personal development toolkit. You can find out more about my coaching and consulting at theenglishspeakingexperts.com, which, as the observant listeners will have noticed, is a new domain. I've recently relaunched it to reflect a more up-to-date version of who I am and what I do. So remember, be the very best communicator that you can be. Have a fabulous week from me, Corinne Wilhelm, your international business communication coach on the Clever Together Communication podcast. Take care now.